Hey guys, welcome to the Tax Facts channel. I take tax information straight from the IRS publications and I make videos with examples to help you better understand this complicated tax codes. Okay guys, welcome back to part 4. We are at the final video of the filing information regarding the income tax return. If you've been following along, you are awesome. If you've seen all part 1, 2, and 3, please leave me a comment below of at least one thing you learned. One topic, one section that you did not know about. Something that was new to you. I would love to hear that. My main purpose of these videos are to bring this knowledge to everybody. Taxes are not an exciting topic to talk about, and my voice is not very an exciting voice to hear. But with that being said, taxes are very important, and they affect everybody. So regardless of how boring taxes may be, this is very important stuff. And I just want to get this information out to everyone so they do not have to stress come tax time. They could feel like they know just a little bit. I'm right along with you guys. I don't know everything about taxes, but I enjoy reading all about it. Because let's be honest, taxes kind of scare everybody. And it affects us in a great deal. It affects our money, which is very important to us. It's very personal. So if we can at least feel like we know a little bit, we can be a little less stressed come tax time. So in this video here, some good stuff here. We're going to talk about what if we make a mistake on our tax return. Is there any way that we can change it? Can we go back and make those adjustments? And then we're going to discuss some penalties, civil and criminal. And then, very important, we're going to get into identity theft and how to protect ourselves from that, okay? All right, so let's get into it here. So what if I do make a mistake on my return? Errors may delay your refund or result in notices being sent to you. And if you discover an error, you can file an amended return or claim for a refund. So if you're going to amend a return, you're going to use Form 1040X, and you should correct your return if after you filed you realized that you didn't report some of your income or that you claimed deductions or credits that you shouldn't have. We want to make sure that we're not setting ourselves up for getting audited and running into any penalties that we may owe. Or you've realized you didn't claim deductions or credits that you could have claimed. And then lastly, you want to make sure that you are filing the correct filing status. You want to make sure that if you're married, that you're either filing jointly or separately. And I want to just make a note here. Once you file a joint return, you can't choose to file separate returns for that year after the due date of the return. Okay, so completing Form 1040X. First, you want to enter your income, your deductions, and credits as you originally reported them on your return. Then the changes you are making and the corrected amounts. Then you want to figure the tax on the corrected amount of taxable income and the amount you owe or you're refunded. When completing Form 1040X, don't forget to show the year of your original return and explain all the changes you made. Be sure to attach any forms or schedules needed to explain your changes. Now we're going to discuss penalties. The law provides penalties for failure to file returns or pay taxes as required. First, we'll talk about civil penalties. If you don't file your return and pay your tax by the due date, you may have to pay a penalty. You may also have to pay a penalty if you substantially understate your tax, understate a reportable transaction, file an erroneous claim for a refund or credit, file a frivolous tax submission, or fail to supply your Social Security number or your ITIN, which is your individual tax ID number. Let's discuss filing late. If you don't file your tax return by the due date, you may have to pay a failure to file penalty. The penalty is usually 5% for each month or part of a month that a return is late, but not more than 25%. The penalty is based off the tax not paid by the due date without regard to extensions. Now we have fraud. If your failure to file is due to fraud, the penalty is 15% each month or part of a month that your return is late, up to a maximum of 75%. Now, what if the return is over 60 days late? If you file your return more than 60 days after the due date, the minimum penalty is the smaller of $435 or 100% of the unpaid tax. Now, there is an exception. You won't have to pay the penalty if you show that you failed to file on time because of a reasonable cause and not because of willful neglect. Alright, paying tax late. You will have to pay a failure to pay penalty of 1.5% of your unpaid taxes for each month or part of a month after the due date that the tax isn't paid. This penalty doesn't apply during the automatic 6-month extension of time to file period if you paid at least 90% of your actual tax liability on or before the due date of your return and pay the balance when you file the return. This penalty can't be more than 25% of your unpaid tax, and you won't have to pay the penalty if you can show that you had a good reason for not paying your tax on time. And here's the kicker. For the combined penalties, if both the failure to file penalty and the failure to pay penalty apply in any month, the 5% failure to file penalty is reduced by the failure to pay penalty. However, if you do file your return more than 60 days late, the minimum penalty is the smaller of $435 or 100% of the unpaid tax. So let's move on to criminal penalties. You may be subject to criminal prosecution for actions such as tax evasion, willful failure to file a return, supply information, or pay any taxes due, fraud and false statements, preparing and filing a fraudulent return, or identity theft. Identity theft occurs when someone uses your personal information, such as your name, your Social Security number, or other identifying information without your permission to commit fraud or other crimes. An identity thief may use your Social Security number to get a job, or may even file a tax return using your Social Security number to receive a refund. And here are some ways that you can reduce your risk. Always protect your Social Security number. Ensure that your employer is protecting your Social Security number. And here's a helpful tip. All taxpayers are now eligible for an identity protection personal identification number. For more information, see publication 5477. And you can follow up below if you want to apply for one. Okay, everyone, that concludes the finale of the filing information of the income tax return. Be on the lookout for part 1, 2, and 3. Check those out. Tons of good information. Also, I'm working on an earned income tax credit video for you guys. I'm sure I'm going to be breaking it up into multiple sections as I've got tons of information on it. So please be on the lookout for that. Be sure to hit that bell. Make sure you get notifications of all these new videos coming out. And please, guys, like and subscribe. Leave any comments on any suggestions of new videos to make, or any comments on this video itself. Also, you can check me out on TikTok and Instagram. I put up videos that I call Tax Facts in a Nutshell, and it's just basically the highlights of that topic. You might like that. Check them out. Let me know what you think.